Welcome back to the Peacefully Ever After podcast. I am your host, Lotus the Coach, and today in episode 2 of the podcast, we're going to be discussing why resilience is so important. As you know, I am a resilience coach and I have a passion for providing tools and purpose to my community. So, before I can get into the tools and the purpose and developing your purpose, we have to know why is resilience important and why should we practice resilience. So, resilience has the meaning of being able to bounce back. So if you think about a ball, when you bounce it on the floor, it just bounces right back to you. So that's how when you exercise resilience, every time you go down, you'll be able to bounce back. And the harder you go down, the harder you'll be able to bounce back. So that's why practicing resilience and incorporating resilience in your life is so important. And I know that sometimes when we go through things and setbacks, we get stuck and we feel like there's no way, there's nowhere to turn. We're just stuck in this certain situation. And when you practice resilience and you have more tools, you're able to bounce back quickly. The more you practice, you bounce back quickly. And I want to share a story with you about how I have incorporated resilience in my life and how has helped me become a better person, a better version of myself, and allow me to get over things really quickly and able to adjust and overcome and still become the woman who I want to be. So, the story I want to share with you today is about me transitioning out of the military active duty. As you know, I am a U.S. Army veteran and I served on active duty for 10 consecutive years. And in transitioning out, I transitioned into the reserve. So now I just do the Army part time. I'm no longer full time while I'm pursuing other dreams and aspirations in my life while still trying to serve my community and my country. So during this period of me transitioning, I've always been an advocate, even before of coaching or anything, of creating a vision board and writing down my goals. I've always done it. It's something that I continue to do, and I feel like it has helped propel me in a direction and help me navigate of what I want to focus on in my life for that year or what I don't want to focus on. So in transitioning out, I had 5 goals. I wanted to purchase a house. I wanted to finish my bachelor's degree. I also wanted to obtain a SHRM certification. And I just want to overall be healthier in my well-being. While serving in the military, yes, it has given me great tools and the foundation for my life. I must say I was not happy during the end of my service. I had encountered a lot of things that I will get into, but right now we're talking about why resilience is important. But I encountered a lot of things in the end years of my life, and I just feel like I had joined the military when I was 18 and I was turning 30, and I just felt like if I was going to transition and I wanted more out of life, that was the moment I had to do it. So, and it was in the middle of COVID. So people was losing jobs. It was a lot of uncertainty, and people was telling me like, girl, why you going to get out in the middle of COVID? Why? There's no jobs. No one's giving out home loans. You don't have a job. Like what? But I felt in my heart that's something I needed to do. So I transitioned out January 2021. And I had to move back home with my parents after living 10 years by myself, doing my own thing, me and my daughter. I had to move back home with my parents. I had to take a job that was half of what I was making in the military, half of it. So imagine getting out, going back, living with your parents, and only living off half of the income that you were used to. That by itself, I was not prepared for because I was preparing to have a house, but because it was COVID and the uncertainty of what job I was going to have, I wasn't able to get a house in my transition in the beginning. So during that time of me living with my parents, me trying to figure out life after military, I was in a very dark, 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 dark place. I had all these goals, all these aspirations, but how things looked around me, it did not look like those goals was gonna come to pass. And I just was lost. I was really lost. I was depressed. And one day I just got up and I said, you know what? There has to be more to this. I know my capability, I know my potential. I have to do something about this. I was not used to living with other people. I was used to getting up and having a whole house to myself. And now I was secluded to just a room with a whole bunch of clothes and boxes for me and my daughter. We were sleeping on a pull-out mattress. And I told myself, I just have to figure this out. So I remember I got up, I dropped my daughter off to daycare, and I called in to work that day. And I went to a tropical smoothie and I just started writing. And I wasn't writing about where I was writing about where I was going. I wrote I had a 4-bedroom home. I was making this amount in a salary. I was driving this type of car. I was so excited I graduated. And I felt so good writing all these things down. And that's why practicing resilience is important, because it helps your emotional well-being. I didn't focus on where I was. I focused on where I was going. And if I had sat there and stayed stuck into where I was at, I would not have been able to get out and go to where I was going. So when I started writing these things down, there was a feeling inside of me that this was not impossible anymore for me. This was something I can accomplish. So guess what? I started taking actions towards that feeling, because I wanted that feeling for real. Like, not just me writing it down. I wanted that feeling in real life. So I started taking the steps towards getting things in order. First, it started out, me and my daughter, I had been applying to different homes, but I wasn't making enough money to get a big enough loan to live in a house where I live now in West Palm Beach. They was approving me for loans around $110,000, and that's not the type of community I wanted to live in. You have to at least have a $300,000 loan or above to get in a good community where your child can go to a good school. So I said, first, I need to gain more income. That's what I did. I started applying for as many jobs, even though I didn't have my degree. I had my associates, but I didn't have my bachelor's. I still started applying for jobs that required me to have my bachelor's degree. And guess what? Within 3 months, I got my dream job of working in HR. So that was the first step. Then I said, okay, now I have the income. Now it's time to start applying for homes again. So after getting my job and being in that job for 6 months, I started looking for homes again. I found the perfect home, which is where I am now. And I applied for that loan and I got it. I had to wait for my home to be built for. So within those 6 months, guess what I had to do? My lease for my apartment was up. But guess what? I had to go live with my parents again for 3 months while my home was still being built. However, this time it was easier for me to live with them because I knew there was an end goal. I knew I wasn't stuck there. It was easier because I had already done it before. I already knew what they expected. So I did it before they even asked. And guess what? Me and my daughter, we transitioned into our new home. And I said, you know what? It's time for me to finish my bachelor's degree. I had 1 more year left. So I focused on my bachelor's degree and I finished it at the end of the year of 2023. Yeah, 2023. No, last year, 2024. So it took me a year and a half to finish my bachelor's degree. So I finished it in 2024. So all 3 of my goals I accomplished. It took me time. It took me focus. But me practicing resilience the whole time through, it allowed me to see things through. So why is resilience important? is important because it helps your emotional well-being. Life is unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen today or tomorrow. However, if we have our tools of resilience, then we know that we will be able to overcome any obstacle that may try to get in our way. Life is unpredictable. It helps our emotional well being. Resilience also helps you build your confidence and to wipe out self doubt. If you have your resilience strong enough, you will have the confidence to know when you face an obstacle, a setback, or a deterrence that it does not mean you cannot accomplish your goal. You just know that you're still going to get there, regardless of whatever it looks like on the outside. And lastly, it allows you to experience growth and transformation. That's what I experienced in those 3 years of a transition. I experienced a lot of growth, a lot of transformation. I built my confidence. I learned more about myself. And that's why I have so much of a passion for resilience and sharing it with others, because I do feel the stronger you build your resilience, the easier you'll be able to navigate through your obstacles in life, and the happier you will be. And you will be able to build healthier relationships because you'll have a strong sense of self because of your resilience. And you'll have a healthier relationship with yourself and a healthier relationship with others. So, Lotus, what is our resilience tool for today? Our resilience tool for today is what I did years ago is take out that piece of paper and write down not where you are, but where you want to be, where you know you can be. And don't hold back. Do not hold back on yourself. Put it all out on paper. And anything that you can conceive in your mind and believe in your mind, you can have it in the natural. So don't hold back. So today, I want you to take out that piece of paper, write down not where you are, but where you're going to be. I thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode, spending some time with me. I really appreciate all of you who are listening in on this podcast. And I really do hope that today's episode has helped you. And if it has helped you, please like and share this podcast with someone who you feel can need to know the importance of resilience and why they should incorporate resilience in their life. And that's all for today's episode. So I'm grateful for you, and I hope to see you on the next episode. And remember, the goal in life is not to be happily ever after. It's to live peacefully ever after. Bye.